All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Turn and Laps podcast, even though it's a little bit different this time around. We are going to be just kind of doing a little preseason show here for you guys, just kind of talking to you guys about what we kind of expect from you guys, necessarily, if that's how you want to call it, and kind of just an introduction to who we are and stuff like that. I know some of you guys that are in here are familiar with us, I'm sure, and we're here for last season, but for the new guys, that's kind of what we're here for. So I'm Bryce. I've been the one that's handling all the, well, most of it. I know Sean's helped too, but getting all you guys set up on the Discord and in the league. So I've got Sean here to my right. That's Sean, aka Happy, as we'll refer to him, even though he looks grumpy. He calls himself a happy guy. And then Will said he ate too much for Thanksgiving and he's too fat for his camera, even though he weighs like 5 pounds. But we got William Kern below here. So other than that, first and foremost, let's get started with that. How was y'all's Thanksgiving?
I had a good Thanksgiving. My dad passed about 2 years ago. My mom stopped doing Thanksgiving really, so my sister started doing it, and they decided to go on a cruise. My old lady's kids went to their dad's, and so heck, I just cooked at home.
Yeah.
Uh, it was nice and quiet. Got to watch some football and get fat too.
Yeah, Cowboys finally pulled one out. It took them playing the Giants, but
Oh boy.
yeah. Either way, well, I mean, again, I know you said you were too fat now, but how was your Thanksgiving?
A lot of food, man. A lot of food. A lot of people in my house didn't like it. I'm not a people person, man.
So let me ask both of you this: anybody try the rigs?
Everybody try what?
The rigs, the racing rigs, when they were over?
You mean? Oh shoot, yeah. I had my brother. He's gonna be in the rookie class, rookie series here or whatever in truck. So I was giving him a few pointers on it, and I'm pretty sure in his mind he spent about $4,000 trying to upgrade his to mine. So
Yeah, I know the feeling. What about you, Sean? Well, you said you just stayed at home, so I'd imagine nobody really.
Yeah, no. I mean, I had Tommy when I first had the rig over. He came and then he got the bug,
Yeah,
and then, of course, he ended up getting a better rig than I got.
I know, man. These deals, man. If especially with what I told you all this morning, man. Like I was so close to just pulling the trigger, but yeah, triples, dude. I just think that they're like aesthetically they're so much better, and then of course the performance, if that's what you want to call it, that you get from them is obviously beneficial too. But nonetheless, let's talk high velocity racing. So we got Daytona coming up, the duels. So not the actual race, which could go one or two ways, but we got the duels coming up for all three series. I mean, I know we talked about expectations. I mean, what are you, Sean, from a I guess entertainment standpoint, what are you looking for? And then as an admin and somebody who wants the league to be represented well, what are you looking for in that sense?
In the rookie league in trucks, I would like more green laps than caution. That would be great. But you know how it is. Everybody's just it's a 30 lap shootout, so everybody's still gonna get a fast repair, and hopefully everybody just does give and take. I thought that practice run we did was decent. You can kind of get a feel with who you can work with and bump, and who who may have some internet issues that you might want to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean the practice race wasn't terrible at all. We definitely had some moments, which is to be expected when the racing is that close between that many cars, right? I mean, naturally you're going to have incidents, you're going to have things happen, but I think all in all, pretty clean. The biggest thing, and I know we kind of made a little post about it in the Discord, but the biggest thing that I guess I would touch on for the rookies is first and foremost, like don't get yourself like just like falling asleep. Like I think it's very easy from a mental standpoint of like, yeah, you just full throttle and turn left, and like, is that true for the most part? Yeah, but it's very easy. Like as we saw, things happen very quickly at the super speedways, right? Like everybody could be chilling side by side, two wide, three wide, maybe not so much at Daytona, but even then three wide, and all it takes is one offset hit or one guy thinking he's clear and he's not, and I mean that could be the whole field. So the biggest thing, as hard as it may be to not go on autopilot, just stay focused for the full. The duels are what, 30 laps, right? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So
30 in rookie, 35 in other classes.
gotcha. Yeah. So just stay committed, right? Stay focused. And the biggest thing is just be patient again, especially for the rookies. And I don't want you guys first and foremost to think that we're like thinking you guys can't drive, right? Because that's not the case. But just from what we learned last year with some of the guys that we had in there, even some of the top guys, we had our issues too. So, it's a lot of give and take, especially for the duels. Like seating position for the duels obviously is very important. But it's not the end all be all. It's not worth wrecking yourself or the whole field for. Hell, at the middle of the season, granted, I think we only had like 12, 15, 16 guys, but I had an EUL at Talladega and won. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's impossible if you're in the back, and some people may want to start in the back anyway. So just, again, be mindful. One thing I would highly recommend is, you can see my wheel back there. Depending on what kind of wheel you guys have, if you have 2 extra buttons and you don't have triples or, whatever, I highly recommend a look left and a look right button. If you're not clear, just takes a quick second, hit the button. It'll look to your left, it'll look to your right, and you know if a car's there or not, and that could be, wreck avoidance as well. So I think those are really the big takeaways that we've had from the racing. I mean, is there anything else you guys can think of that may or may not need to be touched
Me,
on?
just hey, X's are gonna matter, not in the duels, but further on in the future, we are gonna crack down on incidents under cautions for sure.
Yeah.
Because let's just pay attention when we're pacing and not run over someone and ruin their night.
Yeah, that is another thing. I'm sure you guys, you may or may not have heard the term ARCA braking here on iRacing. Just, again, be mindful, right? We know what cars that are going around the tracks are supposed to look like, and if you see somebody off pace, or you see smoke, or you see cars jockeying and moving, there's probably something going on behind you. And as long as you don't slam on the brakes, if you lift off the gas a little bit or touch the brake a little bit, you're not necessarily going to lose the draft. So we did see quite a few incidents in the practice race where there was clearly stuff going on ahead, and guys were just full throttling through it, right? So we don't want that. We don't encourage that. But we get it, right? Fight for every position you can, but let's just be safer on these restarts and on these cautions, just to make sure that we don't have silly X's. Will, is there anything else that you can think of, kind of even going back to last year, some of the stuff we dealt with?
No, you pretty much put it all out there. I mean, the big thing is just patience. I mean, I don't know how everybody is on super speedways. I know how I am. I mean, honestly, I could start in last place and be in the lead within probably 2 laps. And that's being cautious even. So don't try to push yourself. It's how many laps we got for the I'm not even talking about the duels. You said it's 30, but what about the race itself?
70-ish, right? 70 and 75. I
Yeah,
can check.
yeah,
It
70
is,
and
Yeah.
80 for the upper series.
yeah, 80.
It's a lot of laps, man. Just I'd love to see everybody there at the end. I really don't want to see anybody wrecked out. The last 2 or 3 laps were always hairy, but let's get it through all the way down to the end. If something happens at the end, that's just hard racing, hopefully. But it's when people get out early and they don't have a chance to be there at the end that really is, disappointing, especially for the broadcast standpoint. But yeah, I mean, the big thing is patience. Make sure you, like you said, the bind left, bind right, so you can look if you ain't got triples or VR or anything. Know your surroundings. Don't try to push it 3-4 wide if you really can't hold the line. I mean, that's just going to mess up somebody else's night, and we don't want that. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. Talladega's a little bit wider, but Daytona, it's
Can be
me and
tight.
Tommy, and yeah, we try to go 3 wide, and we did good for a few laps until it didn't. I may have
Well,
gotten back my teammate there, but
I mean, to Will's point though about holding a line too, like one thing that I've noticed in my experience in super speedway, rather it be me doing it when I first started or just seeing guys, is I know it's going to be hard, especially even for the higher tiered series, right? You're going to be driving around some guys that you're not used to. But if you're the lead car in a pack, or if there's a car behind you, we obviously know how important bump drafting is at super speedways. If you're the lead car, you hold your line, and it is on the guy behind you to give you a square push. If you are offset, let's say you're a little bit too far to the right and he's to the left, and if you guys meet in the middle, 9 out of 10 times that's going to be a caution. So I know it's hard and I know it's scary sometimes button drafting at super speedways, but it really is the guy's responsibility behind you to make sure that he's giving you an even and a square push. So I see that happen a lot where, again, maybe I'm the lead car and I'm riding the yellow line and there's a car behind me and he's half a lane up. If I try to move to his half a lane up and he tries to move to the bottom, again, if we meet in the middle at the wrong spot, you're going around. So hold your line. Don't worry so much about what's going on directly behind you. Again, it's the guy's responsibility behind you to check up or to hit you square or whatever the case may be. So that's a big thing that I see. And then I think too, the biggest thing again is just kind of focus. You know, I know I alluded to that earlier, but kind of get into a rhythm and find it. You know, give yourself reference points on the track to focus on. You know, like if you're on the bottom, you know, of course you can focus on the yellow line, or even if you're a lane or two up. I think in the corners at least. I know Talladega has like lanes on the pavement. I can't remember so much about Daytona, but find a reference point.
Daytona does, but it's kind of hit and miss. They don't have the newer track. Actually, maybe it is the newer track, but yeah, the lines are there, but they're not. It's hard to explain.
Gotcha. Yeah. So just kind of be wary, right? And just be patient, be aggressive smartly though. I mean, you know, some of the, again, higher tiered series, you know, we definitely expect green flag laps and patience. And, you know, we've proved that we can do it. I mean, Talladega, we had our incidences, but I actually went back and kind of watched it again today, you know, just to kind of get a reference point of where we were at the middle of the season. And Talladega, again, relatively clean. We had issues, as you're going to have, but, you know, guys for the most part were taking the runs when they were supposed to. They weren't really forcing too much. I mean, again, you do kind of have to get your elbows out sometimes, but other than that, man, we want you guys to have fun. And like Will said, last thing we want is, you know, somebody driving above their head on lap 5 or 6. And, you know, that's somebody's race done. And we don't want that again, especially for the broadcast. You know, we've got 50 of you guys signed up. We know we're not going to have all 50 of you out there at the same time, but, you know, still we want a majority of you guys to finish. And ultimately, turning laps, you know, that's the name of the podcast, Turning Laps. I mean, that's what's going to get you guys, you know, up to par, and, you know, seat time is key. So, you know, we want a good finish. We had a really great finish in the duel last year. I mean, the win was separated by what? It was like 3,000ths or something with Kraft.
That was
and
Wilder
whoever.
and Kraft. Yeah.
I mean, we had a great finish last season. So, and we want the same again. And we know you guys are capable. I mean, we've done these recruitment races, and of course we've had some issues here and there and whatever, but we know you guys are capable. We know we're capable, and, you know, don't be afraid to make a mistake though either, because you drive too timid, you get a little bit too tense on the wheel, and then you're apt to make making more mistakes. So that's what we don't want. Just be patient. Don't be afraid to be that guy, you know, if need be. But, you know, let's just drive within our means, and I think we'll be fine.
The good news for these rookie guys, I think we have decided to, just for Daytona and Talladega, get rid of the 20x drive-through.
Yeah.
Every other track, still, you shouldn't be getting a 20x, but I know these super speedways are a little hard. But either way, it's still going to be a 30x DQ. But I just think on the super speedways, we'll just get rid of that 20x drive-through. Maybe not on the duels.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
just because
I mean,
30 laps, you still shouldn't get in 20x's in 30 laps. But
no, not at all.
But I'll probably be, I don't know whether to turn that off for the duels or not.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt to do it, especially with that being the first race. Now, maybe come Talladega, I mean, like, maybe it's something we can discuss leaving on, because by then, you know, of course, we're going to have fall off. And, you know, I mean, again, our Talladega race was fairly clean, and there wasn't anything egregious. So maybe that can be something that can be revisited, maybe closer to Talladega. But I think we've got Atlanta. Let me get the schedule pulled up here and double check here as well. I believe we've got Atlanta on the schedule. Let me see if it's in for rookies. I don't know if
Atlanta and New Atlanta. Do we have both Atlantas on there? I know we have New Atlanta.
We do on rookie trucks does have New Atlanta on it as well. So it does not have old Atlanta by the looks of it here. Let me get this pulled up for you guys.
No, that is just the Upper Series has New and Old Atlanta.
Yeah, so here's the schedule for the rookie trucks. I know you guys have seen it posted, but so this is what we're talking about right here when we mentioned the duels. Okay, so this, and we've also talked about too, and I guess we need to confirm this, but I think we figured out we could do it. We're probably going to have, I'm not going to say probably, let me say maybe, we're maybe going to have 2 heats for the duels. So basically, kind of like they do in real life with qualifying and with the duels, we'll have one heat that will set your starting position for the inside row, and then another heat / qualify, whatever, that'll set the position for the outside row. Again, we'll confirm that and see if that's something that we want to do. But basically, this is going to be the first race. So again, here you see 30 laps, not a full length race. We got 30 laps. There'll be no stages. It'll just be start to finish. Again, barring any cautions. So yeah,
You'll have to pit at least once.
yeah. So I mean, you will have to pit, but as far as scheduled yellows, it'll be from green to white to checkered in that sense. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think from a broadcast standpoint, if I'm able to be there, is going to be fun.
37 in it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be, it'll be fun.
So I do see a question here. And by the way, if you guys are in here and if you have any questions, I do have the chat up over here as well. Feel free to ask. We do have a question from Chris asking about the heat. So I don't know if you asked that question as I answered it or before or after, but if we do the duels, they are both still going to be 30 laps. It's not going to be a 15 and a 15. They will both still be 30 laps. It'll just be, again, maybe I think they have like random generators. We could,
But
depending
they
on what
do
we do.
something like that. I would think if we were gonna do it like a 15 lapper. To be honest with you, so we
I
don't
mean,
have people sitting in the lobby for. I couldn't tell you how long.
yeah. I mean, maybe we just do it
I
straight
mean,
up.
if you are we broadcasting the duel?
So like I told you guys, I don't know that I'll be here for the duels. The plan was to, but
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't know if Happy had it figured out or not. But if we're not, then what I'm saying is that we can do a hosted room and a league room and set it up for both heats at the same time.
Yeah, we could.
Well, let's just sell this now. Do y'all want to do a heats or no?
I'm fine with just doing the race. To be
I can
honest,
do that. I think too,
what
it'll
I
be
would do.
easier because I won't be
I mean,
here.
if it was me, I would probably just do just one race, have everybody in there, and then have it'll be odds will be inside and evens will be outside.
Yeah, we can do that.
So if you finish first, you're pole. If you finish second, you're on the outside, and you just keep going like that. Where you finish is where you start.
Yeah, and we can
Yeah,
give
that's
leader
fine.
lane choice, I guess.
Yeah. On that, by the way, it's very important that next week everybody in all series signs in and reacts because we have to pre-make the grid because there won't be any qualifying.
Correct.
So-
Yes. So as you guys can see, what he's alluding to, I know I still have the screen pulled up. So again, the duels, we'll do one race again, like Will said. Even numbers start inside, or I'm sorry, odds start inside, even start outside, just like when iRacing sets the grid for a caution. There will be no qualifying, so the race will actually still start at the same time, is what it looks like here.
I just pushed back the practice 5 minutes so we can always start at the same time.
Yeah, so we will still have the same start time. But yeah, so the grid will be preset. So like Sean said, we've used this race sign in post here a couple times. Just really, again, make sure that you do react to that. That way we know how to set the grid. And then also too, another big thing is the duels are not mandatory. If you don't want to show up or you can't show up, that's fine. You just will be put towards the rear of the field. Same thing as like an EOL, I guess. You'll just be starting in the back of the field and that's it. So not mandatory or I guess you could say this week, but next week, let us know so we can set up as much as possible as for the grid, and then, but it should be pretty painless. I mean, we'll get it figured out and it'll be fun. So.
Yeah. Everything went pretty smooth last season. So.
Yeah, we did do a duel last season. Crazy. It feels like it was forever ago, which I guess it was. I mean, 20 weeks, I guess, barring what we had 2 off weeks, 1 or 2. So 22 weeks, give or take. And then plus it's been over 2 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I guess it has been, it's been a while, but yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers everything for what we're expecting this week.
Anything you see on the rookie schedule before we got to the other schedule that you think would be fun to broadcast or maybe challenging for these guys?
Let me see. I keep forgetting because I've got.
I'm
Have we
seeing,
decided on money races yet?
yes, we have. It's every IPO review race.
That's what I was curious because I seen that they were green or blue, whatever color they are, and I'm like, is that supposed to be a money race or is he just doing that because it's an IPL race?
Well, they
Both. He
voted on
posted a vote.
4.
Yeah. So
I posted a vote, and they said 4. They wanted 4, and there just happened to be 4 IPO races, and one of them was already on Charlotte. And I said, well, why not? I'm a dick.
Yeah, that that works.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, Kansas road course and the rookies. I mean, that's just an unknown. I do still need to test that as well. But I mean, not really too much experience there as of right now. So maybe I can cover that on the next pre-show that I'm here for. Dover. I mean, the Monster Mile for a reason. I mean, we had it. It was smooth for us last season until it wasn't. But all in all, depending on weather conditions and where everybody's at, Dover can be one to look out for. Apart from that, I mean, the fairgrounds, local track to me, short track. I mean, short tracks always come with their calamity. The Roval, again, another track that has been untested in the trucks as far as our league history is concerned. Apart from that, I mean, all the road courses I love, of course, but those are always probably going to be your problem children, and then the short tracks. But everything looks pretty straight up. I mean, we'll run through it really quick. Of course, the double header for Daytona with the duels, and then the quote unquote 500. Vegas, relatively easy track, as Will and I laugh at that. If you know, you
Yeah.
know. Nashville Super Speedway, again, local track. Love that track. I don't know that I've ran it in the trucks, but I loved it in the Cup cars and Xfinity. Great track, and maybe there's a little bit of bias there, but Kansas, again, another track that should be relatively smooth. We've seen guys have great speed there, and we've had others that have had their struggles. Again, you got a question mark there with road course, Kansas road course, Gateway, a track that I would love to forget for about, it was what, 100 or so laps. I loved it. And then the last 8 or 9.
Nope.
But other than that, again, Dover, great weekend for hyperdrive there. We had our calamity, but we got through it. Indianapolis, another track that we didn't run at last year. Ran it in the Cup cars and some other leagues, and it was fun. But the trucks I think it'll be fun there too, a little bit more toned down, and there's definitely room for chaos. Texas, we know how Texas is. 1 and 2 is going to be a pain in the what for some guys, and some guys are going to figure it out. The fairgrounds, again, another local short track that could cause its issues. The Roval, we talked about that. Charlotte, a money race. And I'm sitting here looking at it too. Indianapolis is also a money race. So you can kind of say those are the HVRL crown jewels with the Indianapolis and Charlotte there. Talladega, of course, super speedway. We know what comes along with that. Michigan, another track I wish I could have forgotten last season. Bristol, we didn't go to last season, so that could be interesting. We know how Bristol is. But I think it can run clean, especially by then. I mean, that's 15 racing weeks into the season, 16 counting the duels. So everybody should have most everybody figured out by then. The Glen, I think that's a road course that I don't want to say is easy, but you've got long straights there, so that should iron out. And then Chicagoland, I feel like was an anomaly for us last season. That was a track that we felt we shouldn't have had as many issues as we did, but nonetheless, another mile and a half, pretty straightforward cookie cutter. Richmond, I wasn't there for, but was another short track that, again, by this point in the season, we should be chilling and good to go. So, apart from that, that's pretty much it. I mean, New Atlanta, super speedway style, and then rounding out at Homestead, which we've had some practice there. So I think we'll be in for a good treat. And I guess while we're here, not to get too repetitive, there's a little bit of difference in schedules between the rookie series and the higher class series. So we'll run through these pretty quick just so I'm not babbling about the schedule the whole time. But again, Daytona doubleheader, Kansas, Richmond, Vegas. We're going to be running COTA here. This is going to be the first quote unquote change apart from where they're at in the schedule. But COTA is a track that I'm going to be looking forward to. As of right now, well, I don't think we plan on changing it. That will be the COTA layout that they've ran previously, not the new one that was just announced this year. I know we've had some questions about that. Dover, New Atlanta again, Martinsville, Michigan, Mosport, a track that I'm again excited for just because it's a road course and I had some luck there this season with the road courses. Another money race in Charlotte, Talladega, Super Speedway. We know how that goes. Texas, the Glen, Bristol again. And then Old Atlanta. We got another change here from series to series. Old Atlanta is going to be a fun, interesting track to run at. And then rounding out with Nashville, Super Speedway, Kentucky, Homestead, and then, of course, Phoenix. So, again, a couple differences in tracks across all series, but I think these are good changes, and I think these are changes that are going to suit not only the drivers but the broadcast well. So
Now on the rounds, the round of 12, 8, and 4, is there anyone that you look for that you can be like, let's say you were in that you can get past that, or anyone that you can be like, oh,
like
that
tracks.
round of 8 worries me. Yeah,
Let me see here. I mean, round of 12. I mean,
it's really not bad, really.
no, the round of 12. If I'm basing this off last season, which of course, obviously, I'm going to be running Xfinity, and we're going to have a whole new crew, but based off last season, I really wouldn't be worried about the round of 12. I won Dega, and I won the Glen. So those are two tracks that I feel confident at. I mean, super speedways to an extent can be a lottery. Texas, I ran well at, but I had nothing for Will. So round of 12 looks good for me. Round of 8, again, Bristol has that same fear factor as like a Talladega, because who knows what's going to happen. Old Atlanta, that is a track that, it's not New Atlanta, so there's not much of a lottery. I mean, I think I would consider that the driver's track on the schedule. I think you're going to really separate the men from the boys. But no, I mean, Old Atlanta, I think you'll be able to tell who has it there and who doesn't. And then Nashville Super Speedway, again, a track that I've had some success at. So really, I'm chilling with all of these rounds. Selfishly and personally, I like the rounds. Kentucky, a track I've had success at as well. So, and then Phoenix is, I think, well, I haven't ran Coda, and I haven't ran Mosport, and I haven't ran Phoenix. So there's only 3 tracks on here that I haven't ran. I mean, 2 of them are road courses, ironically, which is funny. But so selfishly, I like the schedule. I like the rounds. I think I have a good chance if everything goes as to plan. What about you?
Oh, me? Well, I would probably.
Well, you're
I
in
hate
rookie, so
Phoenix.
let me
Yeah,
pull the.
but I hate Phoenix. I'll tell you, it's just I've done okay there, but it's normally never good for me. So I would be worried if I got to the final 4 myself, and then had to get into Phoenix with something on the line. I would definitely doubt myself.
Well, what about you there, Will? I mean, I feel like I know your answers to these questions, but for the broadcast, round of 12, you've got Dega, Texas, and the Glen.
The Glen, I'm not really a road course driver, man. I mean, I'm getting better at it and everything. I could probably get a top 5 there, but
I think
I don't know. I say I'm not good, and I still end up getting a podium every time, which I can't believe. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact of I'm waiting for somebody to make mistakes. The big thing is just keeping it steady and keeping it on the track. And if you can do that, you're pretty much guaranteed a top 5 if you're a decent driver.
I would think that round of 12 is probably Will's kryptonite, if any are.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't like super speedways. He
Doesn't
No,
like
I hate them.
Glenn, but he did win Texas last year.
Yeah, he did well in
so.
Texas. So I know you're going to be looking out for that. Round of 8, you've got Bristol, Old Atlanta, and then Nashville Super Speedway.
Yep, I'm good there.
And then round of 4.
Short tracks are my favorite, dude. Like I love short tracks. Like I said, if I had any problem with any tracks, it's going to be a road course. I can't really get them down enough to win. As far as everything else, I mean, I think I'm all right. There's not really much of any tracks on the schedule that I'm not good at, except for, Mosport. I've actually been to Mosport. I was the one that brought that one up. I'm looking forward to that one, believe it or not. It is a road course, but I am looking forward to it. It's a fun track. It's considered a short track of road courses, I guess you can say. It's an extremely well built track. It's in Canada. Canadian Tire Motorsports track or something it's called, but everybody calls it Mosport. Fantastic track. I've run there a few times. I've actually done really well. I haven't won there, but I've done really well there, and I feel comfortable. So it's awesome we get to put tracks on the schedule that nobody's been to, and they're like, hey man, either they love it or they hate it, and they might like me, I went to Mosport for the first time. Like, I hate road courses, but this is a nice track. So,
I would like
being able,
season to just come up with something, a track or two that doesn't get visited frequent and throw it on there.
yeah, you definitely did last season, that's for sure. With what was the one you just said, Bryce, that you had a problem with because you led 100 and some laps
Oh,
and you,
Gateway. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, that one, and then New Hampshire was another one I wasn't happy with.
I quite liked New Hampshire.
Yeah, I know you did.
Well, I mean, can we just give me an EOL for every race this season?
no,
Yeah, right.
DOLs anymore. It don't matter
Yeah,
what you do.
So the reason for those of you that don't know is oddly impressive and interesting stat that out of the 9 races I won last season, I had EOLs in 4 or 5 of them, and I won every single one that I had an EOL at. So
yeah, you did. And the
I,
crazy part is, each one of them races, you were actually like up towards the front within the podium within probably 5 to 8 laps.
yeah, I mean that was what was I mean, I know Talladega was one, which I mean, getting to the front. I mean, winning is still impressive, but getting to the front, like you mentioned, I mean, that can be
Didn't
done.
you have like Dover too or something? Was it Dover?
No, it was. I know New Hampshire was one. Talladega was one. Man, I don't think we even still have the schedule.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, to be honest with you.
I mean, what all did I win? I won at. So I won at Talladega. I won at the Glen. Won at Sonoma. Won at Chicagoland. It was none of those. New Hampshire we talked about. Damn, that's gonna kill me now.
All right, maybe you shouldn't win so much. I can remember all the races I won last season.
Right?
Yeah, well,
No kidding.
now I'm just curious because I'm genuinely okay. What do we got going on here? Sorry for all the weird audio. Okay, let me try. I'm trying to pull up my VODs. I know I didn't record everything, but maybe this will give me some sort of idea.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to broadcast this year. That's pretty cool. We're able to do that now, and a lot of people that they love racing with us and everything, but the fact that we can bring broadcasting in is it's really fun because then the family can watch a race or wreck or whatever you're going to end up doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think naturally it's cool to see your name on the screen and hear your name being called, and even if it's something small, right? I think that that's something that we all can agree that we like to hear really and to see. So I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm gonna definitely miss being out there in the trucks. That's no doubt. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm looking forward to the broadcast. I think it's going to be fun, and it's going to be cool for you guys as well in here to see, really everything that goes on, right? Because you only kind of get to see your race when you're in the car. So to be able to kind of see like decisions or stuff that you may have been able to make that could have changed the outcome of your race for better or for worse, I think that's just another cool aspect of the broadcast that really kind of helps shine.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcast will be fun. The new overlays will be fun. I wish we were able to get some type of form in there we weren't able to get to over some of these last names. Maybe how to pronounce them and things like that. So it'll be a learning curve.
I'm sure we'll get to know these drivers pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we'll learn their paint schemes, and I think probably by about 5 or 6 races, I think it'll be dialed as far as that's concerned. I mean, I know I've had some technical difficulties here and there, but I mean, as far as actual racecraft and whatnot, I think that I think we'll figure it out pretty quick. We'll know right kind of who's who, and tendencies and stuff like that. I think we'll have it pretty down.
Oh,
yeah, well, if you're out there on that track, don't forget to watch out for them hyperdrive boys, man. My team is stacked again this year.
Yeah, that's another unknown for rookies. And really quick, I have it pulled up here. I think Auto Club was the last one because I missed Homestead and then Vegas. So Auto Club, New Hampshire. Did I have one at Kentucky? No, I couldn't have because the Glen, right? So no. North Wilkesboro.
What?
Will, you had that, right? You had
Yeah.
the EOL. So I had it. I had an EOL for Auto Club, Talladega.
Yeah, I want to say it was just 3, but it's still an impressive stat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there was one more.
How many teams we got out there this year,
I think we
Bryce?
have 7, but the thing is some of these guys need to get on there and get. I don't know if they're wanting to actually compete for points or they're just wanting a channel for their guys, which is fine. But I would like to get full teams so we can keep up with some points and have a little secondary competitiveness.
Yeah, either
Yeah,
way.
I liked it last year for sure. I mean, we only did it for like 3/4 of the year, but I would
Yeah,
say go ahead and send it.
yeah. I mean, we have 7 teams, 4, 4,
I mean, it's
4,
mainly
2,
for bragging
2.
rights, really, but
Okay, so we have 4 teams that are full, and we have 3 teams with 2 in them.
Gotcha. And I mean too for A trucks and Xfinity, I know the participation isn't as strong right now as it is for rookies, but the team, I mean, we'll be doing teams there too. I would like to at least even if they're unofficial, but I mean, team racing there is going to be allowed and I think once the series does get more populated as a whole, I like the whole team dynamic. I like having the same manufacturer if possible, just kind of like how they do in real life. I kind of like that aspect of manufacturers helping each other out and stuff. I think it's another added layer to the race that makes it more exciting for everyone and for the broadcast as well. So, teams, we'll be doing those across all 3 series. We'll get some posts and stuff up in Discord for the A trucks and Xfinity to get those, officially
Yeah,
set.
I had to switch a Toyota this year. Get rid of the
What?
old. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, a guy hit me up that I stole from another league. Well, actually, I didn't steal him. He just joined that I knew from another league, and he wanted to team up, and he had
Yeah.
Toyota.
Who are you with again?
Dustin Bloodworth, Andre, and then Tommy.
Okay. Yeah. So that's I mean, you're on the team, so it's pretty crap team. But
It's mid.
no,
It's
there's some good teams out there though, man. I mean, I'm I'm glad we've got Nava on Harper Drive and rookies for sure. I know we have 2 unknowns with your brother and my friend. I know we have 2 unknowns there. And then Parker, I think, is racing with him before he had his netcode issue and pulled a 360 tray kickflip down the backstretch before logging out.
that was him.
Yeah. I'm excited though, man. I think I've been wanting to mention this to you, I haven't, but I want to have like a little friendly competition between Aaron and then Alex on who's going to perform better throughout the season. We could have like a rookie protege off or something. I don't know, like a
Sure.
see, but I think that's fun. But dude, that's what I love about this, man. Like, it's cool that we're bringing family and friends over to this stuff, and maybe their wives or bank accounts may not be too appreciative, but I'm excited, man. I think it's cool that, I mean, we literally are going to get to help drivers get better and progress throughout the season. And that's what I'm most excited for. I mean, again, I'm going to miss the racing, but to see things unfold, like, especially from a bird's eye view, being like in the booth and the broadcast, like, it's going to be fun, dude. Like, I'm excited for it, man. It's going to be a blast.
I get real excited because we have 52, 3 people in the rookies. I get excited to, I made that I talk to quite often 7, 8 guys that I never knew before, and that's not including y'all 2 or any of the admins, but just regular drivers. Nava, Grady, Hall was on my team. I got to know them really good. KT I talked to a lot. You know, um, so it's just nice getting to know more guys and getting this thing to grow. Like Bryce said, the fall off will happen. People won't perform and they'll just get upset and probably leave. But best thing to do is stick it out, or you're just not going to get better.
No.
Yeah, and that's something else I was going to bring up too. Like Daytona, everybody gets kind of upset with that. It's like sometimes you can have a pretty shitty race there, being that's super speedway. But I came in second in points last year, and even I get frustrated with super speedway. So don't think it's like, oh, this is happening to me because I just these guys suck or I'm not any good or whatever. Just bear it out, man. It's super speedways. Once Daytona passes, hopefully Daytona turns out to be a great race. But if things happen, don't get frustrated by it. Go on to the next race. and you know, see what happens. About 3, 4 races in, it's probably gonna be some pretty clean racing. 'Cause that's about what it took us last year. I'd say about 3 races in, and everybody was clean. I mean, we went all the way through without any cautions for quite a while.
We
Yeah.
did do good for a while. I mean, we had our hiccup like at Dover or something. That, like we were doing so good for a while, and I think half the race.
Chicagoland.
Dover and Chicagoland were two races that we were just like, what the hell? And I mean, even
Yeah.
Martinsville, but that's kind of the nature of those tracks. But I mean, like Will said, and I've even some of the guys that I've talked to as far as recruitment wise, like Will said, Daytona, both of them, the dual and the regular race. I want to look you guys in your eye sockets. They're probably going to be a shit show. Okay, don't let that deter you from the great racing that can be had for the other 19 weeks. Because again, you're doing 190 miles an hour in bumper to bumper traffic, basically. There's going to be stuff that's going to happen on top of guys that have not really driven around each other. So, like Will said, it took about 3.5, 4 races for things to clean up, but they will clean up. And I will tell you guys, like, since Will wants to mention being second in points, okay, that's the championship plaque right there. Let me just rub that. I know he's got 2 more than me, but seriously, I have been on this platform for, I think, since either March or April. I can't remember. And I learned more driving in this league for 20 weeks than I did in any other league that I've been in. And it's shown. I go into official races now, and I mean, we all know how officials go, and I'm able to compete in my splits. And of course, I've had other leagues and I've had seat time and stuff like that, but this is a guaranteed place that you can come and race for 21 weeks if you count the duels to get better and to learn. And that's what we're here for. And again, dude, I don't just say this because it's our league and whatever, but I learned a crap ton about how I drive and what my capabilities are because of this league. I had not really driven trucks prior to this league. I mean, I didn't. I maybe did an odd race or two here in officials, but I had zero experience in the trucks when I started this league and was able to compete. And I would have never told you that. I mean, you know, I knew Will and Sean from another league, and Will kicked my ass in the other league that we were in, and I caught some traction towards the end. But if honest to God, if somebody would have told me that I would have had 9 wins this season, I would have looked at them and laughed. But because of and then too, you get to race better because once you learn the guys you're racing around, you trust them more. So then you start to push a little bit harder and push our limits. Like, I think on track, Will and I probably had the most incidents with each other, and we're teammates, and we were racing for the damn championship all season. But that's how much it meant to us. But I knew Will's strengths, and Will knew my strengths, and I knew the few weaknesses he had, and he knew mine. And yeah, we had our moments, but you don't get that anywhere else, right? You know, people are going to get upset and gripe and complain. That's part of it. I did my fair share. I know Will did his fair share on the radio too, but that's the beauty of this league is you can push and you can make mistakes and you're not going to get blasted for it or whatever, you know, like I learned a lot about myself, my driving style, and what I was capable of racing in this league. And I just don't want you guys to miss out on that for not giving the league, I guess, a fair shot after the first couple races is what I was trying to get at with that. So just be patient. Again, the first couple races may be very rocky, or everything that we're saying may be completely wrong and it may be perfect. Doubt it, but who knows? But just stick with it, and I think you guys will have a blast. Especially, again, last season we didn't even really have the broadcast. We didn't have the podcast until maybe 5, 6 races in. We just decided to do it. So, I mean, you guys are also getting like a whole added layer of like drama and everything to it. So just stick it out after Daytona. Again, they're going to be shit shows. They're going to be rough, but it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that first league I was in, I was getting 20th if I was lucky when I first started. In my first league I was in, but all that did was get me kind of more driven. Frankly, I was pissed off. I kind of suck so bad, really. So then the season after that, you know, I think I got into the chase after that, you know, because just seat time. But just stay with it; it'll get better. And just remember, on this rookie trucks, this is a beginner league, so you know, we try to promote clean racing the best you can, and And don't be worried. I'm sure 80% of the league will be on that first IPL since it'll be a super speedway. But most of the league is pretty easy schedule. I would have to say, is a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, pretty watered down. I mean, by design too, right? I mean, Xfinity
Yeah.
and A. I mean, there's gonna be more strategy and they're lengthier races and stuff like that. But all in all, there's gonna be mistakes. Accidents are gonna happen. Just don't let that deter you from racing, even if you are the mistake, right? If you are the one that does something that you look back and you're like, God, that was stupid. We've all been there, dude. I mean, I had my fair share. I mean, again, Gateway, I led the whole damn race and threw it away with like 10 to go. I spun a wheel out at Auto Club, like my teammate running for the championship. Didn't mean to do that. Like, I made my fair share of mistakes and was still able to come away with a championship. Like, so I know there was a couple guys, and the reason why I say that is there was a couple guys in these recruitment races and stuff that we've done that were super apologetic and just felt bad. And like, I respect that, and I get where you're coming from, but do not drive on edge like that, and do not drive on eggshells, because you will make more mistakes being scared to make a mistake. Just let it happen. And as long as you're not doing stuff that's just blatantly just like, what the hell are you doing? 9 out of 10 times, sure, somebody might have a momentary flare on the radio or whatever. We all do. We're all human. But come next week, dude, we're all just here to race. We're all here to sit here in these rigs for hour and a half, 2 hours, and race virtual cars around a virtual racetrack that ultimately don't really mean a whole lot anyway. So just have fun with it, enjoy it. Don't let it stress you out. You get 3 provisionals a season, right, for rookies. The other series, of course, are paid entries, so that's a little bit different. But the rookies, you get 3 provisionals. If you need to use them or whatever, use them, man. Don't be shy. Of course, they're not going to help you, but they're not going to kill you either. So, and if you guys have any questions or problems, reach out to one of the admins. I mean, we've got 3 in here plus Gay, Mike, and Tommy. So we got 6. I mean, there's 6 of us here that could help you out. So just have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's something I enjoy doing. And to Sean's point, if you're running towards the back and you feel like you should be doing better, or you're tired of getting whooped on, dude, just stick with it. I promise you, it'll be worth it. Because when you get that first win, or that first top 10, or that first top 5, and you get momentum, it just starts to roll. I run my first race in another league, and then it's like the floodgates open, So the same thing could happen to y'all, and I'm sure it will. So stick with it. And I think too, last year got a kind of a little out of hand with the restrictions and stuff that we had, but I think we're pretty well diversified now. And I think we won't have one team winning the whole damn season. We'll have some repeat winners. I'm going to put a number on it. I think we'll have 6 different winners this season in rookies.
Damn, I was going to say.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yep,
I
me
was
too.
thinking, yep.
So,
Yeah.
and the fact that we're all on that same page, tells you, like, just stick with it, man.
And we had 4 last year, but one of them was just a super speedway.
We had 4, and because the one guy won but was cheating in another league, so we kicked him out. But yeah, we had 4 winners, and I mean, Will and I won the rest. We won. I had 9, right? Will, you had 7. So,
and then our teammate Bowen had like 3 or 4.
Oh
so
yeah, so we had 5.
I mean,
we had 5.
Yeah.
We had 5 last season.
Yeah.
Then, because Will got handed.
No, we had 4 winners. So if you don't count the one guy there, we had 4 winners, because 3 of us obviously was on Hyperdrive, and then the
we had Quick,
Super Speedway win there.
Yeah, you had Quick, me, you, Jacob, and then it was and then Dakota too. Though I mean, he won, or no, he won Dover? He won Dover, but that's when he was cheating in Brandon's league, and he got removed because they were driving. So we had 5. Which I guess didn't really feel like.
Well, here's the thing. There's probably, that I seen, and of course it's hard to tell, and then also who's going to improve. But I know of 8 drivers that are at least all pretty close to each other in skill.
Yeah, I mean, just off the top of the head,
we can have up to 8, I think.
Yeah, just off. Top
I mean,
of
honestly,
my head,
I'm thinking Sean's gonna definitely get one.
Yep.
Nava should get one. I could tell you right now, Parker's gonna end up getting one. So there's 3.
Grady,
I think
that's 4.
Yeah.
And that
Grady, oh my God, yeah, Grady's in rookies too. I forgot about that. So yeah, he's definitely gonna get one. Him and Nava both
Yeah,
were
let me
really
look at
good last season,
is
and so were you, Sean. I mean, honestly,
I don't think
if
I
me
have
and Bryce,
anything for Nava on road courses though. I'll tell you that right now. So
that's going to be interesting. Like, I'm tired of seeing freaking Bryce winning all the freaking road courses. I can't wait to see who else brings it in.
led all but one lap. Damn you,
I think
Hunter.
I think Nava will win them all. From the people that I know, you never know who's in here. That's a real ringer. You know what I mean?
So going
Yep.
not to cut you back off. Sean Wilder, if he can put a race together, I
Oh
think
yeah.
he's got a great
Yep.
a
Yep.
great chance.
Yep.
Let's see here. Again, the others that we talked about. I'm trying to. There's one name. Is I think Anthony moved up, right? So I don't think. Okay, so
Yes.
Hall's in A truck. So that was another one that I was counting on. But still, I mean,
Whoever won Charlotte when we did that practice race, I don't know if that was Sanders. Was that Sanders? I don't know. He
I
was
couldn't tell
fast
you.
though. He was fast.
I
He
mean,
put a whoop on me.
as much as, and I joke when I say this, but KT might have an opportunity. I mean, at
Yep.
the super speedways for sure. I mean, he was there both times. So yeah, I think that there's potential, but you know, I'm looking forward to it. Again, Sunday's up in the air. I'll let you guys know because it kind of depends on obviously a lot of things going on. But I'll let y'all know either way. And I'm looking forward to it though. Either way, man, I'll be watching for sure. If I at least can't broadcast, I'll be watching. So I think that covers everything that we really had scheduled. I don't have any more questions or anything here in the chat. So
I'll tell you what. I don't know how many winners are going to be, but I don't think we're going to have one person winning more than 4. To be honest with you.
I think that's fair. I mean, I'd like to change that, prove that wrong, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. I agree though. I really do. I think there's a couple guys still in rookies that I wish would have moved up, like I've told you. But either way, I still think it's gonna be good. I think there's gonna be great competition. I don't, you know, of course you may have. I mean, we see it in real life. You may have the odd guy that just really clicks with the track that may be class of the field and run away. But I don't know that we'll see too much of that this season either. I think it should be pretty tight, clean
yeah.
race. And again, apart, you know, every track there's an anomaly or something where somebody just catches something right or whatever. But I think for the most part it'll be pretty tight knit.
Right. And then to talk about some of the other series, I'm really looking forward to the point system with the playoff points, then how the knockout rounds go. I think that'll be really fun to pay attention to and watch.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Xfinity.
Yeah, I need to get that schedule up probably before I go. I'll try to get that done tomorrow. And get those practice sessions up for Xfinity. I'll try to get those out. But yeah, dude,
I was gonna kind of work on A and Xfinity too. So I think I got the Daytona up, both Daytonas already.
okay. I'll look into.
So.
I think I had a Daytona up for Xfinity. I'll check it or whatever. But either way, I'll go through it. I guess the only other thing, there's really only a couple guys. Well, I think we've got like 3 or 4 guys left to pay entry fees. So just double check that. I've got everybody, I think, up to date and posted, but I think there's a couple more. But I would say after about 2 or 3 races in the season, just for any stragglers that might come in, that's when we'll start kind of getting an idea of what payouts are going to be and stuff like that. But it's looking, I can't remember exactly what we have in, but it's looking pretty decent. I mean, depending on how we split it up, it'd be a pretty good payout for you know, the championships for both series. So I think other than that, you know, again, just be patient. I guess I'll end off with this, like 3 points. Like, be patient for the season, especially early on. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and just stick with it. I think those are the 3 big things to take away. And I think it'll be a blast. So
I got a question for you, Bryce, before we go. Since you were newer, well, you were newer to iRacing when you joined the league, but you were getting your footing, but you still haven't done trucks. How far into the season did you feel, and not just pride, but did you really feel like you had a shot to win multiple races? Or was it the first race gave you that? The first race you won, was that like, okay.
honestly, I think it was a combination of the Dustin incident at Kansas and then Chicagoland, because Dustin pissed me off at Kansas, and I had a damn good truck. Like Will and I think we're class of the field at Kansas. We did testing and what we had figured out. That's when it started, right? That was like me pushing the snowball down the mountain was Kansas. And then I think I had a little bit of momentum coming over from Brandon's league. that I was kind of riding on, but to win at Chicagoland the way I did, 3 wide, like led the whole race, or not led the whole race, but was top 3 the whole race battling, and then to make a last lap pass 3 wide at Chicagoland on the line that probably wouldn't have been preferred by the other two in that moment. I think that's kind of what did it for me. And then the only other thing, honestly, is just seat time. You know, I know I talk about it a lot, you know, and the guys that were here with us last season, even now, I've got a pro driver stream on. Like I'm always watching racing, whether it be real life or even iRacing. And one thing that I really benefited from, and I can't stress this enough, if there's a guy in the lobby that is way faster than you, watch his replay, listen to his engine, listen to his tires and his throttle, and listen and see what he's doing, and that will do numbers. Will and I, like, again, when I joined Brandon's league, Will had like the first 6 races won, and I was tired of this guy. I was like, dude, I'm tired of the same guy winning every freaking race. And luckily, just another league later, like some people would have considered me that guy. And I didn't just do that. I mean, I didn't just wake up and become good at the game. It took practice laps. It took understanding what the car and track wants. It took pushing myself and the truck to its absolute limits. And again, like, had I not had a teammate like Will, honestly, because like I alluded to earlier, Will and I raced each other harder than anybody else on the damn track. And we were the top 2 guys going for points, and we were teammates. Had I not had somebody to race like that, I don't think I would have been as competitive as I was. So I think that's what it took. I think the win kind of started it, and that's what gave me that confidence. And then it was just, what do I do with it from there? That really transcended my season, I feel like.
Well, I feel like a lot of people improved.
Yeah.
You definitely. I mean, I even improved. You know, Andre improved. You know, a lot. You know, there was a lot of people that improved. So it's just nice seeing that growth from when you got here. I mean, even I know Gino's not in the league anymore, but I mean, how bad was that guy in the beginning?
Damn.
I mean,
But no, yeah. I
I'm-
mean, seriously though, I mean, even like, I mean, I know we talked about Nava, but even, I mean, Nava had a hell of a late run in the season.
Yeah.
Hunter West again was consistent, but he really turned it up at the back half of the season. So, and then like Will admittedly hates the trucks, but he found his footing too. Like, I mean, obviously Will's a guy that's always had speed, but I mean, you're in a, I mean, I couldn't imagine driving a car that I don't like for 20 weeks. I mean, hell, the IndyCar series that we're in, I'm done with, because I mean, granted, part of it's luck, but I couldn't drive a car for 20 weeks that I don't like. And to do it at a high level, I mean, that's impressive too. So
Yeah, it's kind of why. I mean, it's just like a track. Take Iowa, for example. I hated that track. We raced it. I finally figured it out and got better at it. Ended up winning at it. It's the same thing with a vehicle. Like I dislike the truck. I like it more now than what I did before, but I still absolutely do not like the thing. But I want to get a championship under my belt. My teammate grabbed it from me last year, so I I got to try to get that championship in a truck, and then I think I'll hang up that helmet for quite a while and just stick with next gens and Xfinity from then on.
Why don't you bring that thing on over so we can all see there, Bryce?
hey, you know what? So funny you should say that. You know what I might just have to do? If I'm going up to Will's neck of the woods next week, we talked about meeting up. I might just have to bring this bad boy with me right here. You see?
Yeah.
let him look at it. I know he's got the regular season one, but no, man. I think again, it just attests to the fact, again, 20 weeks of driving around the same guys. And sure, to a lot of people, this is just a plaque, but dude, it makes me smile looking at it, as corny as that sounds. Like, to have something to show for the season and all the work and time that you put in, like, it's awesome, dude. And it's going to be great. Okay, really quick, because we used to do this. Let's just do it for rookies, because we're already over an hour here. But for the duel, who do you have your eye on, Sean? Go.
Wilder.
Okay, I respect
I'll
that.
go with Wilder.
What about you there, Kern?
I'm gonna have to go with my one of the guys on hyperdrive, and it's gonna be Parker.
Okay. Hot take here. if KT participates, I think KT has been very strong at the super speedways. I know he inadvertently helped me at Talladega when Will got taken out towards the end. I got some bets on KT winning the duel Sunday.
Hey, I'll push him to win in that duel if it means I get to start outside row. I'm fine with that.
Well, I know I mentioned it, so let's clarify that. Do we still want to give leader lane choice though? Like the guy that wins.
We can, yeah, it's fine.
And what we'll do though, and it won't matter, right? Because the first start's on green, so it really doesn't matter if we put him in the second spot.
They're probably gonna want inside anyway. I would assume, right?
But you never know. Depends on.
Not necessarily. I like the outside at super
Yeah.
speedways.
Well, I mean, and if I finish first and Will finishes fourth, I'm his teammate. I want to start on the top. So
right.
Sure, the chances of that happening may be slim to none, but yeah, we'll see.
Hey, everybody that is when we broadcast, don't know if we'll have commentary this one with Bryce may need to go out of town this next week, but we will do some. This guy over here.
OCD, man.
We will be interviewing the top 3, so we'll have a channel for y'all to get into and interview top 3. Also, Bryce and Will and me and Matthew Chase, our newest addition. I'm sure we'll pull some guys in during caution interview. So just let us know if that's not something y'all guys want. That way we aren't pulling y'all in.
Yeah. So for the rookies, this will be the last thing, and then we'll let you guys go. But you'll all have your team chats in the rookies. If you're in your team chat, I will probably just drag you guys up, or Sean or whoever, again, if I'm not here, and just, post race, or not even post race, but if you guys watch NASCAR, right, you know how they do it. Caution comes out, they may key up a guy on the radio, hey, how are you looking, blah, 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 just little stuff like that. So just be prepared for that. And again, we'll do a call with the top 3 at the end of the race. I'll drag you in, just a little post-race interview, just talk about your race, how you got there, who you want to thank, just typical stuff. We'll get a flow down, but I think, is that officially before we end up being here till the race on Sunday? Because we know we could.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I told you we didn't have to line anything up. I knew we can just talk for a while.
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to the rookie race on Sunday. I am too, but honestly, I'm don't forget Monday's next first race for Xfinity too.
Yeah, and then that Friday's truck. So for those of you that don't know, again, I may be out of town. I might miss. I'm more than likely gonna miss Sundays. I'm probably not gonna be able to call Sunday's race. Probably won't be able to participate in Monday's race, and there's a good chance if I'm not here for Monday, I'm not going to be here for Friday. But I should be back for the 500, whatever we would want to call it, in all the series. So it'd be fun. Either way, again, duels aren't mandatory, but we'd like you to participate. Other than that, see you guys later. Thank you guys for coming on. If you guys have any other questions that we didn't go over or you think of later, pop them in the Discord. One of us will be happy to answer them for them. And we will see you guys in about 72-ish, less than an hour, 60, something like that. And then I touched on it. One last thing I promise. We'll be doing this type of style of show every Friday before the truck race on Friday. It'll be a little pre-show. It won't be as in-depth as this, but look for us, and we'll mention it again, but before the races on Fridays. For real this time. Thank you guys for coming in and being a part, and we will see you guys later. Peace.